Hi, everyone, and welcome to Moonlit Scary Stories. We are your hosts, Cameron and Skylar, and today we are going to be talking about the Wendigo. So, this is the second part for us.
Awesome. In this podcast, we need to warn you of the possibility of language that may not be appropriate for all ages and to some may be offensive. The content we go over in this episode is recommended for mature audiences and a trigger warning due to the content consisting of cannibalism and supernatural beings. All right, what do you got for us?
So, I'm going to start off today by coming clean about something. So, do you remember those two stories I told in the first episode?
Yeah.
Do you remember like a lot of details from them?
Not okay, so just a tidbit to our listeners, I'm like suffering from some allergies this week. So honestly, with all the medication I've been on, I don't think I remember some parts of it and how I was excited for the next few others that you had. So my
Okay.
bad.
It's okay. So I told two stories about, well, the first story is about some teenage boys in the woods
Yeah,
and they come across a Wendigo. And then my
yes.
second story was about a girl who had went to her parents' cabin and also had an encounter with a Wendigo.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I remember that stuff.
so what I did with that podcast was I actually made up one of the stories. So
So
yeah, well, I was planning on like announcing that in this episode, but I didn't want to give that away in the first one because I wanted to see if it was, believable. Well, I mean, not 100% believable because obviously this is, urban legend stuff. But,
yeah,
anyways,
but
um,
so can
if
I
you
guess?
had to pick, yes, that's what I want you to do. I want you to guess.
Oh fuck.
That's why I wanted to know if you remembered it.
Yeah, I remember. So one, if either one was great, so you might have to start looking into maybe doing a short like urban legend storybook, being author, um, nurse by night, author by morning, day, whatever. Um, sorry. If I had to pick, I would pick about the girl in the cabin going to see her
Yeah,
parents.
yeah, you're actually right. That was the one I made up.
It was good. Could that it was a story that you found.
Yeah, because it's like went based off of a lot of what people say they encountered. So it was just the basic stuff that you find on the internet, and there you can create a story.
That's
but
pretty awesome.
but anyway, so besides that, today I'm actually going to be talking to you about Wendigo psychosis to start with, and nothing I tell you today is of my own imagination. So I couldn't find if Wendigo psychosis was a real psychiatric disorder. I
hmm
tried, but I couldn't find anything. It was a cultural related thing, and within those cultures, they had believed or still do believe in it. Wendigo psychosis is said to be delusions of being possessed by the Wendigo with symptoms of depression, violence, desire to be a cannibal, and even the actual act of cannibalism. So, an
Mm.
actual claim of Wendigo psychosis came in 1878 to 1879. A man named Kai Kisi, I am so butchering that name, so I'm just going to call him Swift Runner, which was the other name he went by.
That's
So,
awesome. Okay.
Swift Runner killed his wife, mother, brother, and 5 children, and he also ate them. He was, of course, arrested by Canadian police, and that's when he claimed he was possessed by the spirit of the Wendigo. This claim did not help his case, however, and he was sentenced to hang, and he was hung on 12/20/1879. People who had Wendigo psychosis were often treated by their village shaman. This treatment included isolation and the force feeding of fats, quote, to satiate the sufferer, and sometimes was also used to induce vomiting in the hopes to expel, quote, the Wendigo's heart of ice. So either they tried to treat you for it or they killed you.
Mm.
So that was pretty much it for that story. There wasn't much detail on that one, but the next one I have is about a Cree man whose name was Jack Fiddler. Now, this wasn't his native name. This was his, I guess, English name. He was from
Uh-huh.
northwestern Ontario. He was a chief and a shaman who was known for his healing abilities and power to fight evil spirits. He and his brother, Joseph Fiddler, were Wendigo hunters. So they traveled in search of Wendigos or would, upon request, travel to certain places where there was a potential Wendigo. So if a family member thought you were a Wendigo or were acting like a Wendigo or were concerned that you were going to turn into a Wendigo, they could call upon these guys to come check you out. And if you passed, well, I guess not. I guess if you didn't pass their test or whatever they did, then you would be considered a Wendigo and they would kill you.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
No.
you would be a potential Wendigo. So the accusation was always from like a family member, a close person to whoever they thought was the Wendigo. During their hunting, it is said that they killed 14 to 17 Wendigo. One site said 14, while another said 17. So that's like, if they weren't Wendigo, then that's like a lot of innocent people. In 1907, the Northwest Mounted Police were made aware of a woman by the name, I would definitely butcher that name, so Waihasaka Piquet. I am so terrible at this. Who was
Still better than I
found,
would.
I apologize for not getting these right. So she was found choked to death with a piece of string because she was a suspected Wendigo. There was enough evidence to tie the murder to the Fiddler brothers, and they were charged with the murder. However, 15 weeks later, Jack escaped into the woods where he would take his own life. His brother Joseph was later found guilty and sentenced to death by hanging. But after Joseph's conviction, people of his tribe questioned the punishment because it was well within their right to kill a suspected Wendigo due to their culture and their beliefs. Fiddler also had made a statement to police that backed this claim up. He said, quote, I did not know what I was doing was wrong, and if I had known, I would not have done the deed. They
Mm.
did not, yeah, so he really didn't understand. It seems like and his brother just thought this was something that they were born to do, and that there
Mm-hmm.
was, because they grew up with this urban legend and this belief. So they didn't see anything wrong with it.
Wow.
How-
No, yeah.
However,
No. Mm-mm.
they did not succeed in overturning the conviction, but Joseph did not die by hanging. Instead, he did die of an illness before they could hang him. So both brothers were going to end up being hung, but they died, one taking his own life and the other one dying of an illness.
Wow. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just because they grew up with the urban legend and with the belief in it. So maybe
True, true.
that's why there's a lot of people that have, I mean, really strong ties to stuff that they were. taught when they were growing up,
Oh yeah,
especially
no,
in.
I get that. I get that because in different, I guess in that case, that would be what background technically.
They were of the Cree.
Okay, so yeah, so yeah,
But
it
I
would
mean,
be different.
I don't, I still wouldn't understand it because at the same time. So I do kind of get it and then I don't kind of get it because they, I mean, how could you be 100% sure unless you found the individuals during an act of cannibalism, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that.
I would have to catch them completely red handed, like literally with blood on their hands as they ate someone. Like that would be my confirmation. I would just stake the place out until I saw them eating another human being and be like, yep,
And
it's time to
then
go.
yeah, then yeah, that would be my case. Yeah, because yeah, I would have to like see it happen to believe it. I mean, because
Have
but on
concrete evidence.
yeah, yeah, have concrete evidence. That would be the case because I mean, honestly, like growing up in a like Hispanic and American household, like my dad's stuff that he grew up around and like tales that he grew up around, I've heard those and stuff that he believes, and then like brujas and stuff, and like my mom on her side, she's had some stories. So I've gotten like two sides of each, I guess, what they believe and like
What they
rituals
were
they
representing.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, I get that. Um, this urban legend is believed to have been created to scare people so that they did not resort to cannibalism during harsh winters. They thought if they did, they would then turn into a Wendigo. Another reason is to keep children out of the woods, and of course, there are many other reasons as well. There's always a reason behind urban legends. It does make it hard not to believe these stories. When you read about so many Wendigo sightings and stories, it's hard not to believe in them because there's so many eyewitness encounters of something like this. But at the same time, there's just not, again, there's not concrete evidence that they exist, you know? Like no one's
yeah,
caught. I mean, I
yeah.
guess someone could have caught it on camera and I just haven't seen it, but it's not like on the
Well,
news or something
I
like that,
mean,
you
yeah. I mean, see, I would never become a cannibalist or
know?
believe that, but if I had to put myself into like into the world situation, I was like trying to fight for my life and there was nothing to eat but people, and there's no like if the animals were affected, and I would just stick with like what I like, the body parts I know, like I would yeah, like I wouldn't eat the brain or anything, like yeah, I don't
I don't
know.
even know. I don't even know what I would do in those instances. Like I have no I really don't know what I'm capable of until I'm pushed to that limit, you know?
See, yeah, I could never. Yeah, that's a good way to put it because I could never see myself doing it. But if I had to be pushed to the limit, like if it comes to me living and me dying, like I'm gonna fight as much as I
Yeah,
can. So
exactly.
yeah, but yeah,
But
no, yeah, I just get upset. My stomach gets upset thinking about it.
cannibalism, yeah, I can't watch movies with cannibalism
Just
in it. Or if I do, I have to like fast forward those parts. Because it, or no, what really, because I used to watch Walking Dead a lot. And I know it's
yeah.
like not exactly the same as zombies eating people, but those kinds of movies where, or like Hannibal Lecter, anything like that, where someone's eating a human being or anything like that, I can't eat when I watch it. Like I get sick to my stomach watching it.
Oh yeah, no, I just like I
But I
can
can
watch.
watch all of those scary movies with
Yeah,
gore and everything else and be just fine.
yeah, I can watch anything else. I can even watch Grey's Anatomy while eating. But like if it comes down to somebody eating somebody, yeah, nah, appetite lost real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't watch that either. I can, but like I said, gore, blood bother me, but the physical act of eating a human being on the TV screen is a no-no for me.
But to our listeners, I wouldn't judge anybody. So do you, boo boo? Do you?
I think there are places where people do practice cannibalism, or
I do.
but I'm not 100% sure. I believe I've read about it.
That's what I was gonna say. I think I read an article about it a long time ago. I had just stumbled upon it. Actually, stumbledupon.com. If y'all haven't heard about it, I've been using it for years because I'm an oldie. But
What
it's
is it?
actually stumbleupon.com.
Stumble upon.
Yeah, if you're bored one day, like I get bored really easily, so I just pull it up and I just stumble upon like articles, blogs, crafts. Like it just gives you a whole different plethora of genres to stumble upon, games like the old Snake game, Oregon Trail, like all that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I
Well,
read it from there.
that was all I had for this episode. I know it was going to be a little bit shorter, but the last episode had those two stories in it. So, but that's all I have for today. That was the ending of it.
That's awesome. That was an interesting topic. I like that.
Well,
I
thank
liked
you.
it. And this part, the even I still can't get over one of them. One of those wrote. You should save that as a piece because that'd be cool to have it published.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I will definitely save it. It just reminded me I used to like writing stories when I was younger,
Hmm.
not so much books because that takes too much time, but short stories are nice.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So I guess social media time. Woo woo.
So we are Moonlit Scary Stories on Instagram, Moonlit Scary on Twitter, and you can email us at moonlitscarystories@gmail.com. We are on YouTube now, Moonlit Scary Stories as well there. So if you need or if you like to have the subtitles on there so you can see what we're saying, that's an option as well because we can't get it transcribed correctly on the other apps right now. But it's working fine on YouTube, so that's where we'll have them. We also
Awesome.
just be on the lookout because sometimes we have a lot of repetitive words like which we were told by a listener, and we're working on that. But you might see that in some of the transcribed stuff on YouTube as well. They
Yeah, we've
called us
been
look
trying.
into it a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like we just aired our what third hang of it. It's just it's just new to us, and it's just something we're gonna pick up as a hobby, which is great for us because I mean we're both mom. Well, I'm a dog mom, so but yeah,
We'll enjoy it. It's just for
we're
fun.
yeah. So it's awesome that we actually
Learn new stuff. It's cool. But that's it for today. So thanks for listening, guys.
talk to you later. Bye.